Hey everyone, and welcome to IG8Live Esports. We're live this evening with SNS Esports F1 League for round 4 of 22 for the Belgian Grand Prix. We're just getting started with our short qualifying session here right now. We already got a few drivers heading out on track, getting started on their warm-up lap here and about to get started on their hot laps pretty soon. Looking a bit cloudy in the qualifying session as we have it here right now, so we'll see. Maybe a bit of a tad of a rain. I'm not sure if it's going to be a wet qualifying session or not. Or probably just a cloudy session on through as we have it here, but we'll see if there's going to be any rain to come either in the qualifying session or in the race session as we get on through with it. So we're going to be going through Q1, Q2 and Q3 before getting on to the race session. Going to be the full 2-hour stream for this one. Should be quite an interesting session as well. Remember, we do have another stream coming up just after this one as well. It's a total of 4 hours of streaming today for esports races, so it's going to be a lot of fun to watch as well. So currently we're following on with a Night Shadow here on his out lap getting around. Now for Belgium here, it is a pretty long lap getting around this track. So we're going to see what the lap times are going to be looking like. We're expecting something maybe around the 142s, 143s, or maybe a little bit faster, depending on how fast these guys are planning to go around the track here. We'll see how that works with them. We'll get a few stats up on screen as we're getting started here. Get some lap data on, and let's see what tires are arriving. We're probably going to be running on soft tires in this session here, being that it is qualifying 3. So we're going to take tires off. Sorry, it is qualifying 1, so we're going to just take tires off. We're just making something there. Yeah, we're going to take the tires off and just keep it at that and have a look on how everyone's going to be getting on through. I see a few drivers already getting started on their hot laps there. We're going to follow on with Bill Tomat here and see he's getting started in the Red Bull right now. Already got around turn 1 and getting going, and let's see how well this lap is going to go for him. Hopefully not an invalidated lap here, because it is quite easy to do that as well on this track here. So we're going to see how well that's going to work for them. We're going to have a total of 19 drivers racing here this evening, so should be quite an interesting session to see how that's going to work out. And let's see how qualifying is going to go on through for it before we even talk about the race session at this point, and we'll see how that works. Alright, so we're going to have, I think we have some invalidated laps happening already here. I'm going to switch back to the Night Shadow here. Let's see how his lap is going right now. I'm going to go through the grid in just a bit as well. Now, for everyone joining onto the stream, welcome guys to the stream. Hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this qualifying session and the racing that we have upcoming here right about now. So if you're joining on the stream or you're just watching the video even after the stream, please guys make sure that you do leave a like on the video. Really does help us out, and please make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you're new around here for more esports races that we do have being covered during the course of the week as well. So currently we're live right now with SNS Esports F1 League. It's round 4 of 22 right now for their current championship season that they have, and it's for the Belgian Grand Prix. So we have a few lap times, well, one lap time coming so far. We got a 144.095 there from Night Shadow, not too bad of a time. We got Vapor Hayden here. He is getting around right now, and we'll be getting a lap in pretty soon as he's getting around sector 3 at the moment. So looking forward to see what sort of lap he's going to get. Santi there goes 142.9 so far in the session. Takes fastest lap for Q1. So that's 2 lap times in so far. So we have quite a few more drivers out on hot laps. Quite a few drivers out on their out laps as well. So we're definitely going to be seeing a lot more times as we get further on into the session. And we did forget to mention this last week, but SNS Esports is being sponsored by Elemental there. So they do have a sponsor for this Tier 1 race, and there is soon going to be a launch for Tier 2, which was, I think, just recently announced, I think probably earlier today, in the league Discord there. So they are going to be launching a second tier, which I think is going to be running side by side with Tier 1 here. So we're going to be having 2 exciting races happening. Of course, I will be covering both. I'll be covering just the Tier 1. We will be having someone else cover stream and commentary for the Tier 2 for the league. So we're going to see how that launch is going to go for that. Hopefully it goes pretty well. and I have everyone helps out with that as much as they can. So we got Vapor Hayden going 142.8, fastest in the session so far. Santi goes on to second with his time. Killer J goes P3 in the session, 143.6, and then Dixon goes 151.1, and Bill Tomat now goes 143.3. Where is Brizzy right now? I think he's invalidated his lap there, so unfortunate for that. He's gonna have to try that again. We got Liverpool here, so Liverpool fan in sector 3 as he's getting around right now, and let's see how his lap is gonna be by the time he gets across the line. Apologies about that, guys. Was having a bit of a technical difficulty in my end getting YouTube Studio open for some reason, but it's fine now. Everything seems to be good. Just want to make sure everything was good on these streams, and for at least for that. Well, for some reason was not opening, but anyway, we're good now. I should be able to see comments and everything. Vapor Hayden, thank you for joining on in the live chat, and a nice bit of touch there with your helmet as well. We'll have a look at that in just a bit, so we can have a look and see what's happening. So let's see what's happening. Track quite a lot of lap times in so far. So let's see what we got. We got about 6 minutes left in qualifying one here at the moment. Currently we got Dixon with the fastest lap in the session. A 142.2. Vapor Hayden went second fastest in the Mercedes as well. The 142.8, about 6/10 off his teammates' time. Let's see if he's still on. No, he's in the pits there right now, so we're not going to be able to have a look at that. Then we got Santi there going third fastest with 142.9, only a 10th off. And then quite some interesting lap times as we have it through the grid there. Oh, and I think Brizzy just went second fastest now, 142.6, and pushes down Vapor Hayden down to P3. So getting a bit faster as we get to the end of qualifying one here for these guys right now. And currently we're following on with BX37 Pro. See where he's going to be. Captain Infinity out of the session, unfortunately there. And GF they're currently 5th, 143.032, not too bad of a test. So I think he started off with the first 143, then Biltomat went 143.3, Night Shadow 143.4 and 7, Albert in 8th right now, 143.4, 7 and 9, about 300 of a second slower than what Night Shadow did there. I think Temp there in 9th, 143.5, we need 10th off. Killer J in 10th, 143.6, and we go on down from there. But some quite interesting lap times as we're going to see and have a look at that as we get to the end of the session fully on through. Let's have a look who's currently running on track. I know Grizzly has finished his lap. Let's see if GFO is on a current lap here right now. Looks like he might be finishing off a lap to try and get a faster time, and hopefully, oh, he's getting back into the pits out there. So Killer J I think is getting out on track there at the moment. And who else do we have getting out? Wild Dog on the bottom here. Any McLaren having some trouble on track there right now. We got Raleigh getting out back on track. Quite a few more drivers as well getting out back on the track there right now. We're going to have a full lap with someone around here in just a bit as well to see a full lap around Spa, what it does look like. And consider this quite an interesting circuit with a lot of different elevation changes as we get around the track. And as I said, lap times are going just above a minute 40 here around the track. So going to be interesting to see how well the race is going to go, especially with the race start, how it's going to be, and if it's going to be a dry race or not. We're not 100% sure about that as yet, but should be quite an interesting session. So once again, guys, welcome to everyone who is joining on the stream with us this evening. Thank you guys for joining on with us. Please, guys, make sure you do leave a like on the stream. Literally takes you less than a second to do that for us. And make sure if you're new onto the channel with us, make sure you guys subscribe, because we do have so many races going on over the course of the week. And we do have another race coming on just after this as well. And Vapor Hayden telling me it's wet about 20 minutes into the race. I would assume that's 20 minutes it means. But definitely, all I wanted to see was the word wet. So we know that it's going to be a wet session in the race. At some point, it's going to be raining in the race session itself. That's going to be changing things up a lot and making a lot of fun for us to watch here as well. I'm not sure how much fun it's going to be for the drivers, but I know it's going to be a bit fun for us to watch, because we're going to have to see these drivers go through a change of strategy, especially from a dry to wet or a wet to dry session, as it's going to be in the race. And it's always a bit difficult for some drivers to transition on that, because I think it's a little more difficult, especially being at Belgium here, because this track is so long around here, and the elevation changes does make it in certain ways that it can be raining in certain parts of this track, and certain parts of the track it's going to be much more dry, which is going to be very difficult in terms of tire management here, depending on what tires you're running on the track. So we're going to see how that works for them. That's what I was saying, guys. So I was just saying thanks to everyone who's joining on the stream. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and yes, we're on with SNS Esports for their round 4 of 22. So we're starting to get a bit into the championship right now. We're going to be going through probably the standings, maybe somewhere during the qualifying session, or probably maybe we'll wait in the race session if we do have a safety car to go through that then. But I'll have a look and see when as soon as we can get through that, we're going to go through that. And remember, guys, the sponsor for SNS Esports Tier 1 is Elemental. And Just to make sure I did mention that true. So let's see what's happening down the back. We got Raleigh running a lap. We got Jay Hartnell running a lap. Jay Hartnell has invalidated his current lap he's running. We got about a minute and a half left in qualifying here. So he needs to get around the track and get across the line to do one more lap on those same set of tires that he currently has on, to actually try and make it over to qualifying 2 at this point here right now. Let's see if he's going to be able to do that. Does have about a minute, just under a minute and a half to get around. He should be able to get around the sector 3 part of the track and actually get across the line to get another lap started. We'll see. Hopefully that goes well for him. We're on with Raleigh here right now, who is currently down to 17. He doesn't have a lap time in as yet, so he's definitely trying to get something in to make sure he makes it over to qualifying 2 as it is right now. Okay, so that is Raleigh on his final that he did, going 143.3. Puts himself up into P6. I just want to have a look if Jay got across the line in time. He did. So he's getting on his final lap here right now. I think he's the only driver left to actually make a lap time in before the session closes. So I'm going to follow him all the way to the finish, and let's see if he's able to get a good lap in here and possibly keep himself from getting knocked out of qualifying 2 at this point here right now. So I'm going to get on board with him at least for now for him to finish off this lap. But some pretty interesting lap times as we have it so far. A lot of 142s and 143s through the qualifying 1 session there. And that timer is officially over. So let's see where we stand as soon as Jay gets across the line. I think we might have 2 or 3 more drivers still running on track. And let's see if they're going to be finishing another lap or not. And Jay goes 15th on the grid, 144.1. Let's see if that's going to be enough to hold him on through the qualifying 2 there. And SFC guys here, I don't think he's going to be able to make another time in. He has invalidated his current lap that is running on there right now. So let's have a look and see how this is going to work out. Is Jay trying to do another lap? I'm not 100% sure as yet if he's allowed to do another lap or not. Probably still giving it a go to see what's going to happen. Either way, guys, we're at the end of qualifying 1 here right now. And no, that's going to be it. Everyone's over that. I think SFC Gas is all we're waiting for to get into the pits there. And then that causes a close on qualifying 1. We're going to have a look at the results and see how many drivers actually made it over to qualifying 2 there, because Rizzle6 will not be joining us in the race session today, from as far as I know. That's why he was out already off in the session. Having a bit of technical difficulties on his end with internet, so he's not going to be racing this week. But he still did get on to get everything set up for us, and at least still get me invited to the lobby and whatnot to make sure we got the stream up and running. So let's see how this is going to go here right now. We're just waiting for, I think, yeah, there we go. That's finally over. We're going to have a look at our results here right now. Head on over to qualifying 2. Okay, so qualifying results for for Q1 as we have it. We got Dixon taking fastest lap in the session. We got Brizzy going second fastest there in the Alfa Romeo. We got Santi going third. Albert went fourth. Vaporhead in fifth. We got GFO 6, Temp 7, Raleigh 8, Biltomat 9. We got Night Shadow in 10. We got Big Balls there 11. We got Killer J 12, BX 37 13, Liverpool 14, J Hartnell 15th. He's going to make it over to qualifying 2. A Wild Dog there in 16th, and the rest of the grid will have to start right where they are. We're going to have a look at the full grid before we do get started with the race down in the formation lap. When we do get to that point, we're about to get started with qualifying 2 here right now, and that's going to be a 15-minute long session where everyone is going to have to start the race on the tires. They do their fastest lap on this session. That is provided they make it over into qualifying 3 in the top 10. So a bit of a change. Of course, that's only going to stand if we're going to have a dry race start. If it's going to be a wet race start, that will not matter what tires they start on, because we'll have to start on the wets or the intermediates, depending on how much rain we do have at the start of the session. So we're going to see how that works. So what we're going to do, we're going to put on for best here, so we can see what tires these guys are doing their laps on as they get out on track here. We got Vaporhead getting out already. We're going to keep on the overhead view with him so we can have a look at his helmet there. And I think he did his helmet in a particular designer color just to... I'm trying to have a look at it myself here right now. I think he did it in remembrance of Senna there. So as I said, a nice touch on that. I do like the helmet as it is. It's quite nice. I like it Vaporated. It's actually a nice helmet. Alright, so we got our guys heading out on track right now. We're going to have a lot of outlaps going on at the moment here. So let's see how they get on through with that at the moment. We get the marshals waving some yellow flags, of course, because of cars slowing down, getting to the side. Alright, so let's see who's going to be the first car to set a lap around here. I'm not sure as yet, but we're going to follow on with someone and see how this is going to go here. Remember, the lap times range around 142 to 144, somewhere right around there. So let's see how fast these guys are going to go here in qualifying 2. Of course, remember, some of these guys are going to be doing this on the medium tires, as we got Vaporhead about to get started on his lap there on the mediums. And we got some drivers are going to be doing this on the soft tires as well. We got quite a few drivers already got started on their hot laps in front of Vaporhead here. So we're going to see a lot of lap times come in just before he finishes off his lap. Let's have a look on board with him as he gets through a lap around Spa here. So quite an interesting session going uphill here and looking downwards from behind of the car. Always a lot of fun to do that part and see how it goes with the elevation changes getting around there. It's quite noticeable as well as you get on through that section of the track. Bit of a heavy braking zone getting around this turn here. Good overtake opportunity as well with using some late braking, as we'll see some of that happening during the race session when we do get to that point there. So still looking a bit cloudy again here in the qualifying session. Of course, we know there's going to be some rain down there in the race session. So really looking forward to see how that's going to change the aspect of the race up a bit when we do get to that point. So far seems to be going pretty well here for Vaporhead. We already got 1 lap time in. That's 2 lap times in so far. 142.6 from Dixon. Night Shadow 145. We got big balls here, 143.3, and they're coming in at quite a different range as they're just starting to come in right now. Second rounds of laps might be a little bit different because everyone's coming in so far is doing them on the medium tires. We got Albert at 144.051. We got Vapor Hidden about to go across the line here, and let's see where he goes. He goes third fastest, 143.6. So far not too bad. We got Killer J getting around this track as well, getting started on his hot lap there right now. Where is Santi on track? I think he's finishing off sector 3 here pretty soon as Jay Hartnell goes across the line, 147.5 so far there. Let's get on the overhead cam here at the moment. And Night Shadow goes 145.078 in 6th right now. Tempt in 5th, sorry, now down to 6th, 144.3. Santi goes up to 3rd, pushes everyone down with a 143.4 so far. So quite interesting with the lap times. GFO there, I think he's finishing off a lap as well in sector 2 currently at the moment and going. Or is BX37? I think he is just in front probably of GFO or just behind. I think he's running behind. So let's go on with BX37 here first and see where he gets across the line and where he puts that car on the grid. So far going pretty well there for qualifying too. Not too bad with lap times. It's a bit spaced off a little bit, but it's definitely going to get a bit closer off as we close off with the session in another 9.5 minutes. Because definitely we're going to see some faster times in as everyone gets back out on track and tries this again. So far most of the cars have done it on the mediums with the lap times that we currently have there, and some of them might make a change of strategy and go straight to the softs and try to get a faster time, and especially to make it over to qualifying 3 for the best possible race start here, which is what they're going to be aiming for, and that is BX37 going a little bit too much on the curb on the final chicane there and invalidating that lap, so I'm gonna have to try that again. On with GFO here, and let's see where he goes on the grid. Goes second fastest, sorry, in the session, 142.7, only a 10th off of Dixon there, and he got a purple sector 3, so not too bad of a lap from him. I think we got Killer J about to get across the line pretty soon as well. Oh, he invalidated his lap. Getting back into the pits there as we have it there right now. Liverpool fan here. He is currently just getting started on his lap, so we're going to have a look with the Racing Point around the track here as well. See how he's going to do this as he gets around. That elevation change is quite noticeable as you get up that hill there, and very difficult to get through that section of the track as well. We're going to see a lot of battles happen as drivers try to push maybe side by side through there, and we'll see how well that holds up for them. We have seen that happen before, and in some instances goes pretty well. In some instances it does not go that well for either one or even both of the drivers trying to push on through La Rouge both at the same time. So going to be interesting to see how race session will progress through with that there. Okay, so let's have a look on how the laps are completely finishing off here right now. I think everyone else along at the bottom of the grid are currently doing their hard laps there at the moment. Most of them are going to be coming in on the soft. We got Liverpool about to go across the line. He goes on the soft, goes 6th fastest, 143.8. Not too bad so far. Let's have a look who else is currently on track running. I think we're looking at Raleigh here right now to get across the line. His teammate probably is slowing down. And Raleigh goes third fastest in the session at 142.9 on the sauce. Not too bad of a time there at least. Let's see, Biltamat here in the Red Bull getting around, now entering into sector 3. Is it a purple sector 2? And it is a purple sector 2 for him. So the Red Bull driver on for a pretty good lap. I'm not sure how his sector 1 time was, if that was in the purple or not, but does look pretty good so far and looks promising as he's finishing off sector 3 right now, hopefully getting in at least into the top 6, maybe top 5. We'll see how it goes for him. We got a lot of 143s, 142s, so mostly in the session, and some 144, and it's going to be a bit different as we get to the end of the session, because I see most of our drivers are trying to do this on the medium tires. Of course, they're probably looking to run a longer stint on that. Maybe if the rain is coming in the first after the first 20 minutes in the race. We'll see how it goes. They're probably looking to just do one stint on the medium tires and then go straight to the wets for the rain when it does come. It could be that's what the plan is here right now. We'll have to see how that's going to work. If that is what they're actually planning to do, I'm not sure as yet. Now that is Biltimac going up into P4 in this grid here right now. 143.2, not bad of a time. He's only 10 faster there though than Big Boss, so going to be a little bit close going down to the end of the session. So far only 2 drivers on the softs getting it up front on the grid. We got GF1 Raleigh there, second and third on the grid so far with that time. We got Brizzy here. Brizzy is on an outlap at the moment, so is Killer G on another outlap right now. Alright, so let's see how this lap is gonna go, and hopefully this does have a good lap as he gets around the track here. Oh, and he misses that up just a little bit, invalidates that current lap there, so that's not going to work out too well for him. Where is Vapor hitting on track? I think he's trying to get another lap going here right now, and takes a much better line. True La Rouge and gets it quite well. He's currently in 7th at 143.6, and he's trying to do another lap here right now. Let's see how that lap is going to go for him. Temp there on an outlap as we just got past there. Albert as well. So we got quite a few drivers that are starting to get back out on outlaps here right now to get another lap going. And I think Vapor Hayden just did a purple sector 1, so he seems to be on for a pretty fast lap, and he's doing it on the soft tires this time. As we can see, his previous lap was done on the mediums for a 143.6, so definitely expecting him to go at least a few tenths faster, maybe getting into the 142s if he can here with these tires as he has it. So we'll see how the strategy is going to work for him, because I know that some drivers do tend to do this. They do their first lap in the qualifying 2 session on the hard tires just to see what it's like on track, because most of the drivers did use these soft tires in the qualifying 1 session, and then they go on over to the soft tires just to run a lap and see if they are able to go much faster, especially if they do need to make sure they qualify with a good enough time to get over into qualifying 3, make it to the top 10, and try to get the best possible start on the grid here. Remember, it is going to be a very short run down to turn 1 when we do get started with the Belgium Grand Prix here on this track, and it's going to get a bit bunched up, especially from the midfield of the grid going back to the rest of the grid at the back, and they're going to want to be as further up in front as they can, and that is Vapor Hayden going fastest in this session so far, a 142.2, 4 tenths faster than his teammate there, Dixon, who's currently in second. So it's a Mercedes 1-2 so far for qualifying 2 as we have it here. Let's see if he's going to stay that way going down to the end of the session, but so far looking pretty good. And I did see they mention earlier off that they do want to make it a Mercedes 1-2 for this, so we'll see how that's going to work. Let's get down at the back here and see what's happening. I think Brizzy is trying another lap here right now. He's currently in sector 2 and running. Let's see if he's able to finish his lap and possibly get this as a fastest lap here, or maybe getting at least into the top 5. Okay, so let's see what I am missing here. I was just checking out something in the Discord there. So 1 minute about left in this qualifying 2 session, and we got everything seems to be going good, except for BX37 not having a lap time in, so he's going to be out for the next session. We got Brizzy not having a lap time in as yet, so it doesn't look like he's not going to be able to get out and get a lap in. So that's going to be him out of qualifying 3 there as well. Jay Hartnell, Tempt, Night Shadow. Looks like they might be out of the session. Let's see if they're trying to get a lap in or not. Night Shadow, no, is on track here as well. In getting into sector 3 right now. Let's have a look. Is he having a purple sector or not? No, not a purple sector. But definitely pushing as much as he can right now. Trying to get it into a good lap. So unfortunate for Brizzy there though, not able to get a time in before that session comes to an end. Okay, so that is the end of qualifying 2 there right now. I'm just waiting to see if anyone else who's currently running a lap will be getting a faster time in before the session comes off to a close here. I think Tim, nope, he definitely is not getting a faster lap either here. So looks like it's going to be Night Shadow, Tim, J Hartnell, Brizzy, and BX37 out of the session. Actually, Night Shadow is still running a lap here, so let's see if he's able to finish off the lap, because I think he got across the line in time. So it looks like he might actually be able to get this lap in. If he does get a good lap here, that's going to be a plus for him, probably getting himself into qualifying 3. Of course, that's going to push a Liverpool fan out of qualifying 3 there, because he's going to push him down to 11. If he does get a faster lap in, we'll see how it goes. So he's about to get over into sector 3 here right now. Would be a little more reassuring if he got a purple sector 2, which he does not get. So let's see how he does finish off the lap here in the Williams. Alright, so I think just the final chicanes to get around here, final 2 turns, and he's going to be back onto the pit straight, and let's see how this lap is going to be finishing off. I think he's pushing as much as he can, trying to get a faster lap in here right now. Let's see if he's able to do it, and goes faster. Actually does go into P9 at 143.4, barely makes it over into qualifying 3 there. That pushes Liverpool fan down to 11 on the grid there. So let's see how that works out as everyone completes off in the session there. I think it's just Santi there up in P3 at the moment with his time 142.6, who needs to just retire after the session for us to get move on here and over into qualifying 3. We're going to have a look at the results before we do head on over there. But so far looking very good with our lap times, looking very competitive out on the front of the grid. So going to be quite an interesting race start, especially if it's a wet session. We know that some of the drivers are drive pretty well in the wet, some drivers drive pretty well in the dry, and some drivers are actually just about at the same skill level on both of sides of that in terms of what conditions are happening on track, because they do actually practice quite a lot for this. So let's see how that's going to work, and are getting to our results here right now. End of qualifying 2 officially here, and let's head on over to those results and have a look on how that worked out. But Night Shadow barely making it over to qualifying 3. Quite an interesting run that he had on the last run there as he got on through with that. So we should be able to have a look at our qualifying 2 results here before getting over to the next session, and then not too long more for us, wait for us to get into the race start. So looking forward to that, see what that's going to be like, especially with the grid as it's going to stack up around the track, and hopefully everyone gets off pretty well. We'll try to catch any possible incidents into turn 1 as it's going to be, and for some reason we did not have the qualifying 2 results loaded, just kind of loaded past that for some reason. But anyway, that's going to be fine. We're going to get on over to the session and see what's going to happen next. And the loaded times are a bit, yeah, so there we have it. So our drivers making it over into qualifying 3 here. We got Vapor Hayden, we got Kilo J, Raleigh, Santi, Albert, GFO, Night Shadow, Biltimat, Big Balls, and Dixon there into qualifying 3. I think we got both Red Bulls, we got both Haas, I think, and both Mercedes, both Alpha Tauris, and 1 Racing Point, and 1 Williams, I think is what we got here right now. So quite interesting to see how that grid works out. Let's get a few stats up on screen right now. I think everyone's going to be running on the soft tires. No point really even trying to do trying to catch that. I think Dixon there is the first guy to get out of the tracks here right now. Yep, he is. So we're going to follow along with him as he gets around on his outlap there in a moment. Actually, you know what, let's have a look, see if you can have a look at the standings so far as they're going on their outlaps. Okay, so let me just adjust that microphone just a little bit there. Alright, so we're going through driver standings as it is here right now. Let's see what we got. So up to round 3 for last week that we had. I think that was the first stream I did for SNS Esports as well. Our standings is as follows. Sorry guys, I just kind of hit the mic, so I turned that for a second. Alright, so Vapor Hayden currently leading the driver standings with 62 points in first position as we have it there. Night Shadow currently in second with 30 points. That's about 32 points behind. Then we got Santi in third with 30 points as well. We got Biltomat with 26 points in fourth. We got Dixon in fifth with 25 points. Jay Hartnell in sixth with 25 points as well. We got Sadistic in seventh, 22 points. Then we got BX37 8 on the standings there with 17 points. Liverpool fan 9th with 16 points. We got Big Boss 10th with 12 points. We got Albert in 11th with 8 points. Valentine there 12th with 4 points. We got Tempt is 13 with 4 points as well, I think there. Raleigh there 14th with 2 points. And I think PD Hoy there 1 point in 15th. And I think that's it for points so far on the driver standings as we have it. And I think we should have some. We have Dixon getting started on his hot lap there right now. So let's have a look on board with the Mercedes as he gets around, looking very cloudy there in the qualifying 3 session. And let's have a look at the constructor standings. Obviously, we do have the Mercedes leading the constructors championship right now with 87 points. We got Williams in second, 47 points. Ferrari in third right now, 37 points. Red Bull in fourth, 34 points. We got a Haas with 30 points there in fifth. Alfa Romeo 22 points in sixth. Alpha Tauri 7 points in 21 points in seventh. Racing Point 20 points in 8th, and McLaren 4 points in 9th, and Renault down at the bottom with 23 points in 10th on the constructor standing so far. So that's currently how it stands, at least for that. So let's see how our lap times are going to go here. And let me just get this mic back next to me here, as you guys can hear me pretty well, hopefully. With that, I'm not sure if there was a change in the level of audio, so I was moving your mic around just to get to the computer there to have a look at that, but hopefully not. Alright, so let's have a look and see what's happening here. So we got Dixon flying around the track here right now as it looks. That was a pretty interesting line. He took around that turn there. I usually take a wider line, but that was quite interesting as well to see. Can learn a lot of things from these guys as you look at the lines that they do take around with their hot laps that they do around the track. It does help out a lot in terms of understanding a line as well, especially using without, well, as we can see there, without a racing line from this point, and that would be currently the first lap to come in at 141.7. Quite an insane lap there. Raleigh going 142.6. GFO goes 142.8 down to third. Who else is going to be the next guy to come in here right now? I think we got Santi as the next car coming in. And the Racing Point goes 142.4 into second there right now. That is big ball. So Dixon holds on to a provisional pole start here for the Belgian Grand Prix with his 141.7, looking pretty good with that time. Santi goes up in the P4, 142.7. Vapor Hayden getting started on his lap there right now. Night Shadow is about to get across the line here right now. Let's see how fast does he go. Barely made it over into the session on the very last lap that he did in qualifying 2. Goes 6th fastest right now, 143.9. Let's see how that's going to hold up for him. Biltomat here on a lap, and I think the Mercedes of Vapor Hayden is in front of him, so we're going to switch on over to that first and have a look on how his lap is going through there at the moment. So once again guys, for everyone currently joining on the stream right now, if you're watching the video even after the stream here, please make sure you guys leave a like on this video just to help us out and support us here with that. And please make sure if you're new onto our channel, make sure you guys subscribe. We have so many of these races going on during the course of the week with so many different leagues, so a lot of fun to watch, even if we have one track 2 or 3 times a week, which sometimes we do have, because most of the leagues are on a very similar schedule running. with their calendars as well, so we'll see how that works. So yeah, a lot of different races happening during the course of the week, and remember we do have 2 races happening on Sunday. This is the first of the streams that we do on the Sunday. We do have PGL stream just after this one. As soon as we get finished here, we have another 2-hour stream with that race there. It's going to be for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, so going to be a lot of fun watching that one. I haven't done one of those in quite a while. For a full race there, it's going to be full qualifying and a 50% race there as well. So going to be interesting to see how that works as we get off after this race session. So going to look forward to see how this race is going to go for us. Of course, so we do have some rain happening in this race session coming up very shortly in about 6 minutes time. So we're going to see how that's going to work out. So please guys, make sure you guys leave a like on the stream for us. It does help us out. Make sure you subscribe if you're new, and it's going to be every Sunday here at I think our start time is 7 p.m. GMT for SNS Esports, and then it's always at 9 p.m. GMT for PGL F1, and we usually have Nightbot in the chat giving all our information out, but I think we need I think you need something just to get that activated or something. Well, that should be coming on pretty soon either way. We'll see how that goes. But let's see how our lap times are looking. Paper Hayden goes third fastest so far. 142.491. 300th of a second slower than Big Balls there. So not too bad so far. We got Killer J and Albert here on outlap. So follow along with Albert here. His teammate is Biltamad there. So both Red Bulls still trying to get laps in. We got Biltamad into the pits here, of course, at the moment. I'm going to wait for him to get out on track and see what sort of lap time he is going to be setting when he does get out here. Okay, so we get Albert doing fastest sector 1 so far on this current lap that he's doing here. So let's see how he's going to finish the lap off, and hopefully he is able to get it over and probably get into the top 3 maybe. We'll see how it goes for him though, but so far it looks like it's a pretty good lap as he's getting around. We do have Killer J on a lap coming. I think Killer J is in front of him, so let's have a look at him finishing off his lap first, and then we're going to switch on back over to Albert there and see how his lap is going to go as he gets around. And that is a 142.9 there for Killer J so far. We got Albert about to finish his lap here in a moment, so let's see how fast he is going to go. I think we got Dixon on the out lap just behind us. He's about to get started on another hot lap, trying to keep himself on a provisional pole start. We got a 142.4 off of Albert there, so a pretty good lap from him. Goes about 600 of a second faster than Big Balls there, pushes him down to P3 for the start of the Belgian Grand Prix at the moment. So Dixon getting started on another lap here right now. And he's definitely trying to keep that Mercedes to start there in P1 on the grid. And his teammate currently down to P4. Let's see if they can make it a Mercedes front row lockout for the race start as the plan was to be here. So let's see how that's going to work for them. So currently Vapor Hayden in 4th is getting on another outlap there right now. We got about 2 minutes 20 seconds left in qualifying 3 here, and that's going to be over pretty shortly. And let's see where these guys are going to stand at the end of that. Biltman getting out on another outlap there as well. He's trying to improve his time as much as he can here at the moment, and hopefully get it into maybe to the top 5 for the race start, which I think is what he's hoping for here at the moment. But so far looking pretty good in the qualifying session as we have it go on through so far. Okay, so that is Dixon doing an even faster lap at 141.515. Keeps himself into provisional pole start so far with his lap time. He's the only driver into the 141s that we have it there. So quite a good lap off of him. I think GFO on another lap as we have it here right now. And quite difficult getting up that part of the track as well, as you're not fully able to see the entire track as you're getting up. So you really do have to know your racing line around a track like this to be able to actually get around, especially depending on what camera angle view you're using to drive it. If you're using the same view that we're on here right now, or if you're using the cockpit view, it's going to be very difficult with that sort of view to even see what's happening on track. I'm quite used to using that one from early on games, so I can tell you it's very difficult to see where you're going if you don't know the actual line around the track. It's very difficult at that point to see how that's working. We're on the Biltomat here right now in the Red Bull. I think he's the only driver here in this session who has not made a qualifying time for Q3 here as yet, and that's him throwing that car into the wall there. That's going to be it over for him, not having a good lap, I assume. So let's see what's happening with the rest of the grid here right now, if they're trying to get faster times in or not. Vapor Hayden invalidating whatever lap he was running on. Santi trying to get a faster lap in the Haas here right now, as he's going to finish off sector 3. I think everyone's going to get across the line, and that's going to be it for qualifying 3 here, because the official timer is now out. Anyone currently running a lap, we will be allowed to finish, and then that's going to be it for the session for Q3 there. We're going to have a look at our starting grid in just a bit as we get on with the formation lap as well, and hopefully a pretty good race start, and hopefully everyone gets a clean start, some clean overtakes. Some really good battles are about to happen in this race, especially with a wet session as it's going to be for at least part of the session. So we'll see how that's going to work in there as well, because that's what we were told. I think it's about 20 minutes into the session, that's when we're going to have the race. So that's going to be just approaching the halfway point, since the race will typically last about 45 minutes. So we're going to see how that is going to work out in terms of race strategy that these guys have planned. We'll see what tires these guys are going to be starting the race on as well when we do get to that point. So I think we're just waiting for a GFO and Santi's car to be into the pits, as well as Vapor Hayden there, and that should be it. I assume they would have just driven across the line, so it would have been over with already. But let's have a look and just wait for that to be over with, and we can get on with the rest of the session here. Okay, so that's our qualifying 3 results as we have it there so far. So looks like Dixon there is going to start P1 on the grid. We got Albert starting alongside him in second. We got Big Balls is going to start third. Vapor Hayden fourth. GFO fifth. Santi sixth. Roddy 7. Kilo J 8. Night Shadow 9. Biltema there 10th. So and he did not make a time in the session. So we're going to head straight over to the formation lap and the race session here right now and get started with that. And let's see how well this race start is about to go, because we do expect some rain in the session as well, so looking forward to that. And once again, guys, please guys, make sure that you do leave a like on the stream for us, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And remember, we're on with SNS Esports F1 League for round 4 of 22 for the Belgium Grand Prix. And looking forward to quite an exciting race, especially with a bit of rain as to mix the strategy up with the drivers as well. We'll see how well they adapt to a change of conditions on track. So we know most of them will probably have a dry setup on with their cars, and let's see how that's going to work out for a transition over to a wet track, because it's going to be a bit difficult and a bit slippery around the track for some of these drivers. Because remember, as we said, with the elevation changes here around Spa, it's quite difficult sometimes when it does rain, because some portions of the track are going to be a little bit more wet than some parts of it. So that's going to be an aspect that you have to take into consideration here as well, depending on how hard this rain is about to come down. We'll see how that is going to go. So I think we're just waiting for everyone to get sorted on the grid there before we get started with the formation lap, so we can have a look at the entire grid as they get on through. and hopefully have a pretty good start. Because as we said, guys, it's a very, very short run down into turn 1, so drivers will have to be as careful as possible to avoid contact. Of course, that's going to be a little bit difficult because it's going to be hard with that, because they definitely going to have some contact as we get on through that opening lap. I think we're just waiting on Prix there right now as he's still loading. Probably making sure he selects everything with the setup, and there we go, guys. We're about to get started with the formation lap here right now. Dixon is going to lead the entire grid around. Let's just make sure we have everything on screen for us here. First, we're going to put tires on so we can see what tires these guys are going to be starting the race on here right now. So let's have a look at our entire grid as we have it there at the moment. So we got Dixon is going to start P1 on the grid. We got Albert starting second. We got Big Balls is going to start third. That's our top 3 so far for the start. All 3 of them are going to be starting on the medium tires, as we see. Going to be quite of an interesting start. We got Big Balls, so we got Vapor Hayden then starting P4 on the softs with the rest of the grid down in the top 10. We got GFO starting 5th. Santi is going to start 6th on the grid. Then we got Raleigh there, he's going to start 7. His teammate Killer JAR in 8 behind of him for the start. Night Shadow starts in 9th. Then we got Bill Tomat is going to complete the top 10 for the start, and he's on the softs all the way down there as well. Then we got Liverpool starting 11th, Tempt starting 12th. The 2 of them are going to be starting on the mediums, as well as Jay Hartnett there starting 13th on the grid on the mediums as well. Then we got down in 14th, we got Brizzy. Then we got BX37 in 15th. We got Wild Dog starting 16th. They're going to be starting on the soft tires, and a bit of mix of strategies down in the back. We got Valentine there starting 17th on the hards. We got SFC Gas starting 18th on the softs. Rizzle Sticks will not be racing, unfortunately, so that means Captain Infinity should be starting in 19th on the grid with the hards as well, but I think you might have to start in the grid spot number 20. We'll see how that works for him, so he's going to be a grid spot behind with that. So let's see how that works out for him, and by the time we get to the race start there, because I'm not sure if Rizzle Scar will be racing in the race as well, because I know he's just trying to get everything set up with that. But we'll see how that goes as we get around here right now. This car seems to be driving, so I'm not sure if he's actually racing or not. We'll see how that works as we get on through. I think we're about to get reformed back onto the grid here right now, and about to get started with the Belgian Grand Prix. So let's have give these guys about 30 seconds more for get all of these cars back onto the grid, and then we should be getting started with this race. We're gonna have a look at Dixon and Albert, and probably Big Balls and Vapor Hayden out front, top 4 with GFO there in 5th. You can see, I see we got both horses running 5th and 6th. I just noticed that there as well. We're gonna see how well the race start here is about to go, because I'm gonna keep an eye on Albert and Dixon as they get off the starting grid when those lights go out, and then we're gonna have a look at the entire grid as they get around the turn 1 and see how that's gonna go for them there. Alright, so let's have a look and see how that's going to go as the lights are about to go off, and there they have quite about an equal start as they get around. Dixon seems to get a better start, taking over the race and getting around. Let's see how the rest of the grid gets on through. Looks pretty good so far. I don't think any contact between cars. And I see SFC Gas has fallen quite down, and we got Renault running quite off track. I think that was Temp there getting down on the side. He might have had contact with someone getting through that portion there. And currently we're following RB Killer J with his teammate Rodley just behind of him going. Both Alpha Tours fighting off with each other, going side by side a bit there now as well. So Night Shadow trying to come up on them, trying to get ahead. Let's see if that's going to work out, because quite a bit of train going on through. And I think we don't have any contact yet. Both horses just almost missing each other there at the moment as well. So teammates definitely on for racing each other at this point in the race here and fighting it off for positions. Our leaderboard is just a bit mixed up at the moment, so we're going to ignore that for the time being and just follow on with the cars that we do see running on track here at the moment. We're following on with somewhere in the middle of the grid we are right now as we're having a look at the entire train of cars going through. We got the yellow flag sectors 2 there. Just by the entry of sector 2, I think, down in the back of the grid. Something, maybe some bit of contact between a few cars. And we still have the Haas boys fighting it out for positions here. GFO and Santi there, as they're running pretty close up behind. Killer J and Raleigh still running close up behind each other there down in the back as well. Let's have a look with Biltman catching up to them and see how that's working so far, because they do need to come up with some sort of strategy in terms of keeping that Red Bull behind. and I'm not sure if they're even trying to do that at this point, but they're definitely trying to fight for position. We got a car out, we got Wild Dog out of this race, we got a virtual safety car for that incident. Let's see if we can have a look at what happened with this car there. I'm not sure. And there is his car to the side of Jack. He might have definitely had contact with someone for that to happen there. So Wild Dog is out of the race. SFC Gas is out of the race as well. I think he was out on the opening lap there for the first sector where he went off track. Or he might have just retired just after that. Either way, I'm not sure. But let's see what's happening. So we got quite a few pit stops are about to happen here as we get on through into lap 2 here right now with Dixon leading still. And let's get a bit more stats up on screen for us here. Let's have a look at position changes as we have it here right now, as we can see who changed positions and who dropped places. Raleigh dropped all the way down to 17. He's in the pits, that's why. We're going to get off that for now because the leaderboard is just getting mixed up there at the moment. We're going to keep on the tires, and unfortunately, it's a bit of a mistake on Raleigh's end. He's gone onto the intermediate tires, and I think he probably just threw his car into the wall there just to get out of that mistake, because probably very frustrated with that. Results retired his car for us to not be in a session. Raleigh is now out of the session there as well. That leaves us with just 16 drivers in from our 19 original drivers that we had to be starting this race with. Unfortunate for them. I think someone else is having some trouble down in the back. That might have been, I'm not sure who's, that's Brizzy's car out of their session there as well now. I'm not sure what's happened to him down at the back, but I think that's his car out of the session as well. So that's now down to 15 drivers, and we're only on, I think, this second lap of this race, or is it lap 3? I'm not even sure how many laps we're on here right now and going. Just trying to follow what's happening in the session so far. BX37 getting a penalty there for something. I'm not sure what's happened, but we know we've had some contact between quite a few cars from the start of this race up to this point here right now. And we're back racing here right now already, so let's just see what's happening here, because that VSC didn't last very long. I'm just trying to have a look on board to see if we have some drizzle starting to come in already. I think, yep, it is already starting to come in. So we do have the drizzle starting to come in already. That definitely is going to change things up quite a bit for the race very soon. And I think it was a very good call for the drivers who started this race on the soft tires here, because they might be able to push forward into the race until they're ready to go straight on over to the intermediate tires, which is not going to be right away. I'm hoping no drivers does make a dash into the pits to go onto the intermediate tires by seeing a few drops of drizzle here right now. I've seen league drivers do that before. As soon as they start to drizzle, they hop straight over into the pits to get a change of tires and go onto the intermediates, and it's way too early for that. The track is quite drivable right now with the dry tires as it is, because it's just started to rain. There's actually no standing water on the track, so there's nothing for these tires to need those intermediate tires to displace. So they're just going to be overheating if they do try to get on track with them. So they have to just continue on with the tires that they currently have here right now. Now out in front we still got Dixon leading this race. Big Balls is up to second place in the race. Albert is down to third. Vapor Hayden running in 4. GFO running 5th. Killer J running 6. Biltomat running 7. Liverpool running 8. We got Tempt running 9. We got Night Shadow running 10. J Tempt runs 11. BX37 runs 12. Captain Infinity runs 13. We have Valentine 14, and Santi runs 15 so far in the session as we have it here. So let's see how they get on through with the rest of the race. We're on lap 3 officially here right now. We're about to head into lap 4. Oh, and we got Vapor Hayden losing the rear of the car. He's trying to get back around, and he's losing positions right now as he went around the final turn to get back onto the pit straight. He lost the rear of the car, got spun around. So with the rain coming in, what's happening right now is that the track temperature is dropping significantly because of the drop in temperature on track as well. So that's going to be dropping. That's what's causing a bit of an issue there. And DRS is now offline, so it is actually time to switch on over to the intermediate tires already here. As the rain is starting to come down, it's going to be affecting performance on these cars. So everyone currently into the pits is making quite the right choice actually. because at the end of lap 4, it's going to be needing the intermediate tires definitely at this point in the race. So switching over at that point that it went into the pits there, the entire grid down from Killer J all the way down to the back down in 15, they all went on to the intermediate tires at a very crucial point that needed to be changed. Remember, it's a very long lap around this track, and we got a virtual safety cover. Something's happening on track right now. I'm trying to figure out what that is. I think that may be something with Killer J, I'm not sure. No, actually that was with Temp there. Temp is out of the race, unfortunately. Down at the back, just somewhere in sector 1 there. So he has had a bit of a trouble. Probably went into the wall after the rouge, I'm not sure. But 14 drivers now remaining in the session. Not the best of race for these guys this evening here, as we have it right now. Vapor hitting a 3-second penalty for time for exceeding track limits there, I think. So it's going to be quite difficult with the guys currently running on the dry tires as it is right now. We can see Dixon having a lot of problems, and Captain Infinity gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. Or why is he getting that penalty now? Alright, so we're going to have Dixon and the rest of the grid behind of him go into the pits right now to switch on to the intermediate tires, which you're about to do here, because those dry tires are not working for them. That track got wet very, very quickly at this point. As we were saying, it is a pretty long lap around here. We're used to mostly 1 minute 10, 1 minute 20 seconds around a track. So it takes an extra lap than what it took here to actually get ready to get onto the intermediate tires. But the rain came down pretty fast, and as we said, it's a very long lap. So by the time they got around one lap, when we saw that drizzle at the end of that lap, it was time to get onto the intermediate tires, which most of the grid did get onto, and was the right call for them there as well. We got Dixon getting out of the pits here right now, and he still gets out in the lead of the race as we see. Alright, so there he goes. He's still out back in front, still leading this race. And now we got Killer J up into second place. We got Big Balls running third, GFO runs fourth, we got Night Shadow running fifth, Albert runs sixth, Jay Hartnell now in 7th, Biltomat now in 8th, BX37 now 9th, Sandy now up to 10, Liverpool in 11th, Vapor Hayden down to 12, Captain Infinity running 13, and Valentine now running 14. That's our 14 drivers that we have in this race session so far. Now, if it's starting to rain at this one, we gotta watch the intensity at which this rain is gonna be coming down. And I don't know if the rain is gonna be staying with us for the entire race session, which is what is gonna be very important to note here right now. Then the track is wet enough for these tires, definitely so, as we can see here right now. But the question is, how much rain are we going to have in this session? How long is it going to actually be raining? And will these cars have to transition back to dry tires before we get to the end of the race, which is at the end of lap 22 here right now? It's a 22 lap race around here, and the race is going to last still about the regular 45 minutes or so that we have. But with the rain, it might just go a few minutes extra on from that. But I think what's the most important point here right now is to know whether or not we're going to be transitioning back to dry tires at the end. And we can see drivers getting penalties there right now, most likely for exceeding track limits at this point, because with the wet track that we do have here right now, it's very difficult for drivers to keep cars as steady as you would expect them to keep it here right now. So we're going to go on to the midfield of the grid, have a look at BX37 here, chasing after Biltomat for 7th place in the race right now. Battles are still going to be going on even though it's a wet track. These guys are still going to be pushing and still fighting for positions. We got Night Shadow back into the pits. Sorry, Killer J back into the pits there. Might have some damage on that car, I'm not sure, which is why he's pitting there right now. Let's have a look at penalties as we have it here. We're going to put telemetry on either way still and have a look. So it's a drive-through penalty for Valentine down at the back there. It's 3 seconds on most of our other drivers as we have it here right now. Actually, let's just leave that off. I don't think we really need that on. And we're going to keep it on there. And we got Albert into the pits going. Is he running on mediums? I think he's now going on to the intermediate tires here. I just noticed that. Let's get out front. We got GFO chasing after Big Balls right now for 2nd place in this race at the moment. Of course, Night Shadow coming just behind that as well. He's going to be fighting for that position as much as he can. And let's see how that's working for him. So far, they're keeping quite a constant gap between each other as they get around the track. So really not doing too bad. Of course, we're not going to be running as fast as we would like in on the intermediate tires as we would on the dry tires. We'll see if we'll be making a transition back to that. The rain does seem to be coming down quite a bit more here right now as we're going further into this race. We're on lap 6 of 22 right now. This is going to extend our race session by quite a few minutes, due to we're losing quite a few seconds on at least every single lap that we're doing. And it does seem to be getting a bit more difficult with the conditions on track as it is there right now. Of course, TTV Dixon is getting away pretty well out front. He's about 8.3 seconds in front of Big Balls there, and somehow he's managed that and is keeping that gap constant as it is there right now, because he doesn't seem to be losing time. And Big Balls is quite more worried about GFO and Night Shadow, who are running just behind him. Night Shadow, I think, is falling back just a little bit. He's trying to keep up as much as he can with GFO there right now, but GFO has a pretty close gap, about half of a second. And he's keeping that close behind Big Ball, chasing him after in the racing point, just trying to catch, maybe get an overtake down at some point, especially if Big Balls makes some sort of mistake. As we're on board right now, let's go on board with Big Balls actually and have a look as they get up here and see how well they're getting through. And it seems to be going pretty well, even though it's a full wet session. Well, not a full wet session, it's still halfway of a wet session so far. And getting through. We got a few close gaps down in the back as well. Let's have a look at Vapor Hayden here, chasing after the racing point of Liverpool fan. And he's looking to get by here right now. He's going to take it on the inside, where he's obviously going to be forced to take it off of the racing line. And let's see how that works for him. Looks like he gets the position up though, and moves up into 10th place in this, 9th place in the race here right now, ahead of Liverpool here. So not too bad of an overtake for him. That was actually quite well done. And we're going to continue on here right now, have a look, see how that's going to go. Santi here chasing after BX37 now, with Vapor Hayden catching up to him. About 1.3 seconds more to catch up, so about that. And let's see how that's going to work between them. But let's follow on with Santi as he chases after BX37 Pro for 7th place in the race. So gaps out front are extending a little bit more, as we can see there right now as well. We do have Dixon. He is getting a bit further away from Big Balls at the moment. The gap is now up to 9.5 seconds as we have it. GFO here is about a second just behind that. He's trying to keep up as much as he can. Night Shadow still keeping up with them a bit as well. Currently we're still following on right now with BX37 Pro and Santi here, who are still quite close off to each other. We got Vapor Hayden now is within a second of Santi. Of course, there's no DRS available for use on the track here right now, because we do have a wet race going on. And looks like the pit lane is officially open for any cars that does want to do a pit stop at this point. We got a very close gap right now with Vapor Hayden trying to get alongside Santi and trying to get by. And a bit of contact between the two of them makes the Mercedes lose the car, almost taking some damage into that barrier. And he's getting on track back right now. Might not want to do too much reversing at this point. And we got Captain Infinity is going to catch up to him very quickly. Let's have a look where he's coming. He's catching up to the Mercedes right now. So that's Vapor Hayden back down to 10th place right now. He fought very hard to get up. The overtake done on Liverpool. A bit of a mistake with having contact with Santi there. I'm not sure whose fault that was, but the conditions on track as it is, any minor contact between two cars will cause probably one of the drivers to lose a bit of control of their car. Currently we're following on with BX37 here. Still have Santi within half a second of a gap with them going on through. And we do have Liverpool trying to catch up with them as well. He's 2.2 seconds behind, so let's see how that's going to work. But currently we're still following on. Currently with Bill Tomat in front of these guys. And then Santi and BX37 fighting it off just behind of him. Out in front we have Dixon now leading by 10 seconds. 10.4 seconds to be precise. So he's getting quite a good lead out front. He seems to be running very well in the intermediate tires here as we have it. Big Boss down there in second. He's trying to keep ahead of GFO as much as he can right now. And he's trying to keep the gap that he has. It's about almost a second. Night Shadow trying to keep within a second if he can. And then Jay Hartnell there another 4.3 seconds behind. Trying to catch up to the rest of the cars in front and get away from the cars behind if he can here right now. Biltomat here still trying to get away from these two. That's BX37 Pro and Santi here who are fighting it off for a position in the race. And let's have a look at Santi here right now. Might be trying to have a go at BX37 as we're about to get on that straight there in Sector 1. So let's see if that's going to go. We can see the racing line start to dry off a bit on the track, which is going to provide a little more traction for cars that are running on it. It is going to be the fastest line along the track and the fastest portion of the track here right now, as we have Santi going alongside BX37 Pro is one. He's going to take it on the inside. Let's see if he tries to outbrake him, and some very minor contact almost between the wheel-to-wheel action with them, but Santi has to hold on to his position there in P8 at least for now. He's lost a few tenths, but he's going to try and catch that up as much as he can here. So I think this battle might be with us for quite a while, as is with GFO, Big Balls and Night Shadow as well out in front there. They're still quite close off to each other. So this raid might slow the battles down on track, maybe just a little bit in terms of traffic catching up with each other as well. But we do have quite a close gap between our few cars here in the midfield as we're following on with them here right now. We're on lap 9 of 22, of course, and getting on through this race. And let's get on board right now with Santi here, and we're just trying to have a look to see if at any point this rain is going to be going away. Of course, it doesn't seem to be happening at any point here right now. It does look like this rain is with us. Yeah, BX37 goes wide. Definitely might get a penalty for that, or probably a warning. I think he got a penalty before as well. I'm not sure if he got a penalty for that exact portion of going off track there, but did go a bit wide on that. Lost a bit of time now to Santi, who is just behind his car and going through. Let's see if he's going to be able to catch up and get by. Liverpool fan is actually catching up to Santi here right now. He's trying to get within a second, which he just got there, and he's going to try and break that gap down further much if he can and try to get up into P7 in this race very soon. And let's see if that's going to work for him. Everyone currently running a very similar amount of laps on these intermediate tires as we have it, except for a few drivers down at the back here at the moment. So we got a very close gap right now. Liverpool fan getting a 3-second penalty for exceeding track limits there. We got Santi going on the outside on this occasion, trying to get around BX37 Pro. Looks like he might have gotten that done. Let's have a look here right now. And he gets around the turn up into 7th place. Goes Santi there right now. Very good overtake done, even on the long way around the car here right now. But still got it done quite well. Already has a gap of about half a second against BX37. He's not allowing him to catch back up to him. So really and truly, that was quite a good overtake from him. Let's have a look on board with BX37 if he's able to catch up here right now. We do have quite a few drivers with penalties on track here right now. Of course, that's going to happen due to drivers having a bit of difficulty on the track. We can see BX37 having some trouble in there in the wet as well. Let's head on over out in front right now with our race leader here, TTV Dixon in the Mercedes, and he's leading quite well. His teammate not doing so well in the race, down to P10 after a bit of contact with another car. So he's now entered into lap 11 of 22 into the halfway point of this race. And I think we got a car exiting in the pits there right now. I'm not sure who that is. Trying to have a look here at the moment. And that is Valentin, who is out of the session, unfortunately. So he's out of the session. So we're left with 13 drivers in this race here at the moment. We're on lap 11 of 22 going on through for the Belgian Grand Prix for SNS Esports. So Big Ball still running in 2nd place. He's about 10.9 seconds right now as we can see him here running. He's running there behind, not 11 seconds running behind Dixon. Now we got GFO Michael running behind him. Gap is about a second behind. So the house driver is trying to catch up as much as he can here right now. Having a bit of difficult time though in this condition as it is on track right now. As you can see, they're trying to keep as much as they can on that racing line just to keep these cars moving as fast along the track as they can, because there's just a bit of less water on the racing line right now. As you can see from the overhead view, it does start to dry out just a little bit, and help with drivers who are not too familiar with the racing line on track there as well, as everyone does seem to take the exact same line around the track, which is the fastest line around the track. So why would they not do that there? So we're gonna follow on back now with Santi here, who's moving up in the race. He's gotten past BX37 Pro up to 7th place. He's now chasing after Biltimat in the Red Bull in front of him, and he has a very close gap of 0.3 of a second, and he's trying to get past if he can here right now. Let's see if that's gonna work for him, because he's currently running 7th. Not a bad position in this race. And I think our race leader will be entering into lap 12 very soon. And we are not seeing any end to this rain that we do have in the session here right now, to see if we're going to get back to the dry tires down at the end. And Biltman gets another 3-second penalty. We're still following on right now. Let's have a look at Santi. He's trying to fight it off with the Red Bull of Biltman to get ahead and get into that position there for P6. So definitely he's going to have a go at him down the straight there in Sector 1. Let's see if that's going to work, because he's trying to make sure he gets his braking zone right here, right now. Get back on the power as fast as he can. He's going to continue chasing after that Red Bull. And he's coming quite quickly behind, so let's see how that's going to go as he continues through. The gap is gone away just a bit on them. Liverpool fan getting ahead. Oh, and we got some problems down at the back. BX37 is into the barriers off track, and I'm not sure if this is going to be race over for him here right now. Trying to have a look and see what's happening. So he's trying to get back going here right now. I'm not sure if he had contact with Liverpool fan or not. It could be a possibility that happened, which is what caused that, or maybe he just lost the car and ended up into the barriers on the side, and Liverpool fan got the position up quite easily, because I don't think his car has any damage. No, he doesn't have any damage on his car. So with the condition on the track as it is, I don't think they had any contact. They were not that close off, because I'm not sure how close the gap was. Santi here trying to close back the gap right now to Biltman there in P6, and really trying to get that position up if he can. We got GF4 running P3 in this race right now, trying to chase after big balls there. Gap is still about a second, and keeping constant around that position there right now. It's around lap 12 of going through, so we'll see how that works out for them. And our race leader has just entered into lap 13 of 22 here right now. So we're way past the halfway point of the race right now. We're getting down to the final portions of the race very soon. We'll see how the rest of the race continues on through. We're going to get back on board right now with Santi here. Have a look at the intensity of this rain that we have coming down on track. And it really doesn't seem to be going anywhere for anytime soon. Now these guys have done a maximum of about, for whoever's gotten onto them first, they've done about 7 laps so far on these intermediate tires, and we got cars starting to do some pit stops here right now to get onto a new set of intermediate tires, which is what I was about to talk about, because about 7 laps on them, I would expect that they would start to, those tires would start to lose some grip, and these cars would need to get into the pits and get a change of tires to get back out on track. Let's see when our race leaders decide to do this though, because he is now running 7 laps on his tires. He did pit a lap later than the rest of the grid, and I think the few drivers behind him are in the same bit of situation there as well as it's going on through. So far so good in this race, I gotta say. Unfortunately, we lost quite a few drivers on the early portions of the race that we had in the first few laps, but we're still down to 13 drivers, and it's going pretty well so far as we have it through. Hopefully we're able to finish the race with the 13 that we do have here right now. BX37 into the pits there right now, getting onto a new set of intermediate tires as well. And we're still following on with Santi here right now. He's still chasing after Biltumat here for P4 in this race. And I don't think he's going to give up on that there. And let's have a look out front to see where our race leader is right now. We do have big balls into the pits, and doesn't look like Dixon has pitted. He's going to push on through just a bit more with his tires that he does have on here. He might be pitting at the end of this lap. We're going to have a look at him to see if that's going to be the case. So we know we have a few cars out front who are doing their pit stops right now. Okay, so I see a bit of change happening with the grid here right now. Let's have a look what's happening down in the back here. I see Captain Infinity has gone onto the full wet tires. Now, it is raining pretty heavily on track, so let's see how well he's making out with the tires here as we have it. This might be the reason Dixon has not pitted us yet. He's probably waiting to see, or he's going into the pits actually, so let's see what tires he's going to go on. Actually, it doesn't look like it's going too well here for Captain Infinity on those full wet tires. The intermediates seem to be working much better at this point. It's not raining as hard in the pit lane there right now as we would expect. Actually, it's raining pretty hard, we can say, on track. As we can see on board here with GFO, who is coming around the track here at the moment. So he's coming around. We got TTV Dixon exiting the pits there right now. And I think GFO might get a good go on him and might get by. And he gets up into the lead of the race here right now. But he's done 9 laps on these intermediate tires. Will he have to do another pit? I think he's going to have to do a stop and get off those tires. So that's going to put Dixon back into the lead of the race when he does do that. And as it is there right now, 2.3 seconds is what the gap is between Dixon and GFO for the lead of the race. So let's see how Dixon is going to get away here with, because he has on fresh intermediate tires here right now and he's running. So I do expect that he's going to be pushing as much as he can. And he's going to try to get back his lead right away because his gap is starting to fall down a bit there right now as well. As we can see, Captain Infinity is still on those full wet tires. Let's see if he's going to go back into the pits and get off of them, or he's going to continue on in the race. Looks like he's going to continue on and hope that the rain comes down just a little bit more and that these tires start to find some grip on track. And he's going to be the one in the advantage going to the end of the race. I think that's what his hope is here right now, because he's continuing on the full wet tires as it is. And he's going to continue on with that. Let's have a look and see when GFO does decide to do his pit stop, what set of tires he's going to be going on. Is he going to go on the full wets, or he's going to go on the intermediates? He's going on to a new set of intermediates, because the intermediate tires seem to be working pretty well on track still as it is here right now. But that rain is definitely starting to come down a lot more, so I'm not sure if in another few laps we're going to have to switch on over to the full wet tires. That's the blue wall tires there, and to finish off the race. We'll see how it goes though. But it's going to be quite an interesting change in a race if that does have to happen, because I think Captain Infinity made that switch to the full wets, just hoping that everyone else will have to switch to them in about 2 to 3 laps time or so, and hopefully he does end up being the one making the most advantage out of it. But of course, he is struggling a lot right now on those wet tires as he has it there right now. And we still have GFO running on track. He does not do a pit stop. On to lap 16 we are here right now, and Dixon is catching up to him pretty quickly, and those tires were going to start to give out pretty soon, I assume. I'm not sure how much more grip he has on them, because the grip on that tires is going to go away pretty quickly, which means that he definitely is going to have some problems in terms of keeping that car stable on track. Dixon here is now within a second of him, and definitely has gotten up pretty quickly on those fresh intermediates. So I'm trying to have a look and see how that's going here at the moment, because it looks like he is about to lose the lead of the race, because definitely he's not going to be, I don't think he's going to be able to take those tires to the end of the race and actually keep his car there in P1. He might have to do a pit stop, otherwise he might start to lose more position. But I think he's looking, I don't know if he knows about it, But he might be looking at the fact that the car down there in P3 is about 15 seconds behind Dixon. I'm not sure if he does have that information available on his screen, because usually he knows about the car in front of the car and behind. Of course, there is no car in front. There's only cars behind of him. And gap is pretty close off right now, so we're having a look at Dixon. Is about to get a good go on him here, and probably going to try and get past within the next lap or two. Captain Infinity gets a 3-second penalty down at the back. Let's have a look on how it's going for him here right now. Is he finding some traction? And he does have to get off the racing line to keep enough order displays through these tires here right now. We got a safety car right now. Something's happened on track, and I think that is with Killer J here. Might be that incident that just caused that safety car. I think that was the only incident I saw on track, and that's going to provide a good opportunity for GFO to go into the pits here right now. He takes full advantage of that safety car. He's going to go into the pits. Let's have a look at what tires he's going to be going on to as he does that switch there. And it looks like it's going to be a new set of intermediate tires for him. So nobody making a change over to a full set of wets except for Captain Infinity down at the back there in 11. He's the only car who's done that. And we got Biltomat into the pits as well as Vapor Hayden. Let's have a look at what the switch is going to be here right now. Are they going to go on to wet tires, full wets that is, or are they going on to a new set of intermediates as it is there right now? So it's another new set of intermediates for Biltomat. Let's have a look at Vapor Hayden. He's going on to a new set of intermediates as well. Nobody else making a switch over to the full wet tires except for Captain Infinity there. So we're under our safety car. It's going to go for another few laps. We're going to have maybe over 3 laps of racing left after that safety car goes in. So quite an interesting change in the race for that safety car to happen at that point. Made it very easy for GFO to do a pit stop and get back out in the race in second place. And by the end of the safety car, he is going to be running just behind Dixon there on a very, very fresh intermediate tires as well, as Dixon is on his fresh tires. So we're going to see how that is going to work out for strategy for him. So he does have a pretty good chance of getting past Dixon for the lead of the race in the final stages there. And we do have Captain Infinity down in the back, getting back into the pits, and he's making back his switch, going back to the intermediate tires here right now. So a bit of a mistake on his end, going to those wet tires. He was trying to see if the track was ready for them. Unfortunately, the track was not. We got Killer J getting into the laps here right now. Let's see if he's going to go on to a new set of intermediates as well, or is he about to try the full wet tires? I'm not sure. But let's have a look on board with him and see what's happening in the pit lane with tires here for him right now. And looks like he's coming for a wing change. So he's going to get a new set of intermediates to get out of the back on track. Of course, he's going to be quite behind Captain Infinity there. And yeah, so we're still going to be following under the safety car here right now. And everyone's going to be catching back up to each other just a little bit. So we might have a bit of a tussle down at the end in the final few laps of the race between a few cars as they try to fight it out for positions as well. And let's have a look at penalties here right now to see what that's like at the moment. So far as we have it there, we have I think about 4 cars only in this race without penalties. That's Dixon, we have GFO, the 2 race leaders are without any penalties. Santi there in P6, no penalties, and Albert in P10, no penalties for him as well. Now let's have a look at who does have a penalty. So for our cars, we got Big Balls in P3 currently with a 3-second penalty, Night Shadow with a 3-second penalty, and Jay Hartnell with a 3-second penalty as well. This is probably going to put Santi up maybe a position or 2 if he depends on how close of a gap he does keep. We'll see how that works for him, but he's looking pretty good for a good finish here. And then we got Biltomat there, 9 seconds of penalties. We got Vapor Hayden 3 seconds, Liverpool Fan 3 seconds, Albert obviously no penalties for him, Captain Infinity 6 seconds of penalties, and Killer J there 6 seconds as well. We'll see how the penalties works out as they get further to the end of the session. Let's go back onto tires as we have it here right now. We got Albert into the pits there right now, probably getting onto a new set of tires. And as we can see here right now, the rain is significantly coming down a bit harder. And I think these cars definitely want to get back racing because they're driving a bit slow on track right now behind that safety car. And the racing line is starting to disappear just a little bit here right now because of the rain coming down even more, and cars not running as fast as they were just a few laps ago. So I think everyone does want to get this race started back with, and I really don't think they're enjoying driving behind the safety car at a slow speed right now. I'm not sure how much it bothers GFO at the moment, because he's caught up quite well to Dixon here, just behind that car, and he's looking forward to probably getting a go at him to get up into the lead of the race. We might have a safety car go in at the end of this lap, or maybe the next lap. Let's have a look. We're about to get into Sector 3 in just a bit, so we'll be able to see if that safety car is going to go back into the pits here right now. But it looks like we might have to go just one more lap under the safety car. And let's have a look what's happening down in the back here. Quite interestingly, we see that Albert has done another pit stop. He's gone onto the full wet tires. So he's having a look at these tires here right to see if this is going to be the right tire to go to the end of the race with. I wouldn't put it past him, because it is getting pretty wet on track. Of course, those tires are not finding any grip as yet. Still pretty cold. So let's see how he gets on with it. He might actually be able to get away with this if the rain is reaching that intensity at this point here right now, because it does seem to be falling, just coming down pretty hard. And he seems to be running pretty well on the tires, just a bit of off track for that one portion there. Let's have a look on how he's going to work for him. Of course, remember, the rest of the grid is not running up to full speed right now. So I'm not sure how they're going to be getting off on those intermediate tires as they have it there right now. But it's going to be quite interesting to see if the track is actually ready for the full wet tires, as we have Albert on here right now. So this could either be a good thing or a bad thing for him. Does depend on what the aspect of the race is, because if the track is ready for the full wet tires, then everyone on those intermediates are going to struggle when we do get this race back going again, because I think we're going to be getting back to racing at the end of this current lap which we're on here right now, and we can see Albert is running pretty well on them, and he was running full speed. As he's now caught up to the safety car queue, he's now going to slow down. And definitely so, it seems that this track might actually be at a point where it might be ready for a transition between intermediates and full wets. I can't be 100% sure about it. This is going to be a bit on feel, so the drivers will be able to better know what's happening on the track here. But it still could be a point where it's still good enough for the intermediate tires and still good enough for the wet tires as it is. But I'll be honest here right now, we're on lap 19 and going on. So we're going to follow on with Dixon here. So just trying to see if we're about to get back racing at the end of this lap, which is what we should have happening here. Yeah guys, so what we're trying to have a look at is to see what's happening, because in terms of looking at the stats we have here right now, we're on lap 19, we're about to go into lap 20, which leaves us with about just 3 laps of racing. So if the track is still good enough for the intermediate tires, then everyone's still going to get to the end of the race on the current intermediate tires that they're currently running on. It really does have to get to a point where it's very difficult to keep full traction on with those intermediates, and does really need those full wet tires before everyone does have to make that transition. And at this point in the race, I don't think everyone's going to take that chance, and I don't think they're going to want to go on to the intermediate to the full wet tires, sorry, at this point here right now. They're going to try and finish the race on the intermediates as they have it. Albert is going to have to hope that those full wet tires have somewhat more of a grip than the intermediates right now. As we can see, very difficult in terms of viewpoint here right now when you're running behind of a car. So it is raining pretty hard out on track, but still, is it ready for full wet tires? It could just be, but it could still be good enough for this intermediate to run. We're about to get back racing here right now, as we got Dixon getting around the fountain back onto the pit straight. He does have GFO chasing after him, pretty close off behind, and they're going to go for it here right now. Let's see how much traction they have on these intermediates as they're going to get back racing here right now. Dixon seems to be getting away pretty well out front with GFO chasing after him. Down in the back, we got Big Boss and Night Shadow things switching position. Let's have a look on what's happening between the Racing Point and the Williams there. And we got a Ferrari, that's Jay and Santi fighting it down at the back here. So let's have a look at the two of them as they get on through. So on board with Jay we are right now, following on as Santi is chasing after him. And they seem to be getting away pretty well. I don't think you're having too much trouble on the intermediates as it is right now. So it looks like we definitely should be able to finish your race on the intermediate tires as it is. And I want to have a look quickly down at the back. Let's have a look at Vapor Hayden here, having a go on the Red Bull on Biltmat down on the outside. He's trying to push it on through. They might have some contact. Santi and Jay Hartnell still fighting it out for a fifth position in the race. Just out in front of this. And let's go on down to Albert here. Let's see if he's getting away pretty well on the full wet tires. He does need to have an advantage on the wet tires right now to try and gain position, which he does seem to have as we're having a look on board from him as he's catching up to Captain Infinity there and Vapor Hayden just out in front of him. So if that is the case, he might be able to gain a few positions before the end of this race. So let's go on board though. Back to a few cars down in the midfield here who are having a bit of a battle going on. So I think this is starting all the way from Big Balls to Jay Hartnell to Santi to Biltmat to Vapor Hayden down to Captain Infinity there in 9th, and they're also chasing after each other still. Let's see who's going to be changing position. Captain Infinity very close up behind the Mercedes of Vapor Hayden, and is really trying to push on through for a position, but very difficult to overtake in these conditions as we have it here right now, and you might be having some trouble keeping that car stable there as well. So let's see how that's going to work for him. We're on overhead with Vapor Hayden at the moment, and Albert is down back to 11th on the grid. Liverpool has gotten ahead of him. Let's see if he's having some trouble down at the back there. I'm not sure. He's still going, but I don't think he's gaining any time on those tires as he has it there right now. We're going to go back on here with Santi chasing after Jay Hartnell there in the Ferrari in 5th place, which he's up to right now. Let's see if Santi's able to get by and get that position up, or he's going to have to hold it on to 6th and at least to go to the end of the race. We got a yellow flag here in sector 3. Down at the back, Albert is having some problems with that car and those wet tires there. So definitely not the best of choice he made going on to them. And we've now entered into lap 21 as we're following on with the guys here right now, going through just under 2 laps left in this race to finish this off here right now. And let's see how the rest of the race will going to continue on. We still got a bit of a train of cars going through in the midfield here right now, still from Big Balls Jay Hartnell down to Santi right now. Biltmat running 7th. We got Vapor Hayden running in 8th. Captain Infinity running just behind of that as well. So quite close gaps that we're working with. I'm trying to follow on, see who's going to get an overtake done at this point here right now. Captain Infinity looking to get one done on Biltmat there. Albert out of this race, unfortunately. Into the pits he goes and retires that car. And 11 drivers currently remaining in the session as we have here right now. And I'll go back on board here right now with Vapor Hayden and Biltmat to see how that battle is progressing on. So let's keep it on to Biltmat at least to see what's happening. Let's see if the Mercedes is able to get by. And he's trying to push it on the inside. A bit of contact between the two of them. And he might have gone a bit wide. Slides around the track. And the rear of the car gets hit into the barriers there. I don't think he took any damage on the front wing. He's going to get back going. But lost quite a few positions. And Killer J, I think, is about to get by him there right now. But the yellow flag is going to prevent that from happening. So let's see where he is on track here right now. So he's about 5.8 seconds behind the guys that he was fighting it off with, and that's going to be his car out of the race, unfortunately, there for him. Killer J up to 10th in the race right now, so everybody is going to be getting points at the end. And Liverpool and Captain Infinity fighting it out for a position here. Liverpool gets up into 8th place right now and is going to try and push on through for another position if he can. On the final lap we are here right now as we are getting through. And let's have a look at the rest of the grid in the midfield to see what's happening here. Biltmat chasing after Santi, but still a closer gap between Jay Hartnell, Big Boss, and Santi there as we have it out front. So let's have a look at Jay Hartnell, who's trying to catch up to Big Boss to try to get up to 4th place. And he's having a bit of trouble keeping that car steady as we have it there right now. Santi gets up into 5th and gets ahead, takes advantage of the bit of mistake off of Jay's side. And there goes Biltmat, tries to get through as well just before LaRouge there. So gets up into 6th. And Jay Hartnell down to 7th in this race so far. Santi, of course, still has no penalties, as we're going to put penalties on here right now. And we got Biltmat trying to go side by side right now. And he has to take back his position as he has to there. Put penalties on. So we're going to see how this race is about to finish. Santi there might be getting our extra position up because of his because the Big Ball's having that 3-second penalty out in front. So he might be able to get on to 4th on the grid for the race finish here. We'll see how that goes. But we are on the final lap and going around here right now. Out in front though, let's follow on with we're gonna go that in a second. Let's have a look. Is Santi gonna be able to get that overtake done here at the moment? He's pushing for an overtake on Big Balls and wants to get that overtake done with. It could be quite close for him to get it done and possibly get behind a Night Shadow, but quite a bit of a gap to catch up with. So I don't think he's going to be able to get up into maybe be able to finish into a podium position, but he most likely he should be able to finish P4 in this race if he doesn't get a penalty here right now. And getting very difficult with conditions that we have it on track. We're following on with our race leader here right now in the final sector of the final lap of the Belgian Grand Prix as he's getting around. So he's led this race from the start up to this point and has run quite well in it. About to get on the final turn here right now and will take the win as he gets across the line here right now for the Belgian Grand Prix. That's Dixon taking the win there. A pretty good race for him. GFO going across the line second. He's going to take that. Night Shadow comes across the line. P3 on the podium there as he goes right now. Big Balls will cross the line P4, but it's going to have a switch with Santi there for for that position. So Big Balls goes down to P4. Santi takes P4, Big Balls takes 5th, J Hartnell takes 6th, we got Biltman 7, Liverpool 8, Captain Infinity 9th, and I think Kilo J there in 10th on the grid. Let's have a look at the final results before we get off the session here. And remember guys, we are about to start another stream in about 5 minutes after this, and Captain Infinity gets driver of the day. Not too bad of a finish for him there. Alright, so let's have a look at our results. Hopefully we do get to have a look at that because loading does sometimes skip stuff on this game for some reason. Okay, so there it is, our results for the Belgium Grand Prix for round 4 of 22 for SNS Esports here. So Dixon takes the win for this race. GFO takes 2nd place on the grid. Night Shadow takes 3rd place there. Santi takes 4th. Big Balls takes 5th. J Hartnell takes 6th. Biltman takes 7th. We got Liverpool taking 8th. Captain Infinity takes 9th. And driver of the day, Killer J, takes 10th on the grid. And that was our 10 drivers that finish off the race. Vapor Hayden there, 11th on the grid. Albert 12th. BX37 Pro 13th. He got the fastest lap in the session earlier off. Valentine finished 14 with that there. 10, 15, Brizzy 16, Raleigh 17, Rizzle, well, he didn't participate in that race, so that would be Wild Dog there 18th, and SFC Gas there 19th on that position. Of course, no points wrong there for that. So top 10, good job on them for finishing a race. So that was it for that one there. So thank you guys for joining us on here for this race session with SNS Esports for round 4. And please guys, make sure you leave a like on the stream. Remember, if you're new on the channel, make sure you guys subscribe. We're going to close this stream off here right now and start the next stream in about 5 or 6 minutes or so for our next race session. So join us on for that guys. Hopefully see you guys in the live chat for that one there.